Imagine waking up to the strobe of police lights painting your misty driveway like a crime scene, all because your nosy neighbor decided your gravel path offends her sense of community harmony. That's exactly how my day started at 6:48 a.m., barefoot with coffee in hand, staring down two cruisers idling like they were about to bust a squatter ring. But the real criminal here? The HOA queen across the street, clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched like she's directing traffic in hell, convinced my land, my paid-for, deed-stamped sanctuary was hers to police. My name's Alex Turner, 55, retired investigative reporter from the Chicago Tribune. For 25 years, I chased stories that smelled like smoke before the fire even started. Corrupt politicians, corporate scams, the kind of rot that hides behind polished smiles and fine print. When my partner died 3 years ago from a long illness that no headline could fix, the city's noise became unbearable. Honking horns, endless deadlines, people yelling into phones about nothing. So I cashed out, bought a 5-acre slice of heaven just outside Willow Creek Estates in suburban Illinois. It was raw land with a weathered barn I planned to turn into a writing shed, an old maple tree shading the driveway, and a creek that whispered like forgotten secrets. Mornings smelled of pine and fresh earth, not exhaust and regret. Peace, I thought. Finally. But peace in suburbia? That's a joke wrapped in a welcome packet. 3 weeks after closing, a cream envelope slid into my mailbox, gold embossed with Willow Creek Estates Homeowners Association. Inside, a glossy brochure preaching about approved lawn heights, no taller than 4 inches, lest it disrupt visual uniformity. Banned fence styles, chain link, sacrilege, and even rules on holiday lights, white only, no gaudy colors. I chuckled, fired off a quick email. Appreciate the outreach, but my property's outside your boundaries. Best regards. Crickets. No reply, just the faint whiff of entitlement drifting over from next door. Then the drive-bys started. A silver Mercedes SUV, slow rolling past my gate like a shark circling chum. Driver, short bob haircut, oversized shades, phone up just enough to snap pics without being obvious. That was Evelyn Hargrove, HOA president and self-crowned empress of cul-de-sac conformity. First, I waved it off. Maybe she was admiring the view. But reporters know patterns, and this one screamed surveillance. A few days later, the first friendly reminder letter arrived. Dear resident, your driveway composition gravel does not comply with Section 4.2 of the covenants. Please upgrade to asphalt within 30 days to maintain neighborhood aesthetics. I stared at it over coffee, the paper crisp like a fresh subpoena. My fence? Unapproved rustic wood. Must be vinyl for durability. The barn? Eyesore. Paint in approved neutrals. All signed with Evelyn's flourish, like she was autographing a bestseller on suburban tyranny. I ignored it, filed it away in a drawer labeled nuisance. But Evelyn, she wasn't the ignoring type. She was the type who turned minor gripes into crusades, all under the banner of protecting property values. Neighbors whispered about her over backyard fences, how she'd find the Johnsons for a kiddie pool that clashed with the palate, or threaten the Patels with liens over a vegetable garden that dared grow tomatoes taller than regulation. We all agreed to the rules, she'd coo at meetings, her voice honeyed poison. But me, I hadn't agreed to squat. My land predated their gated utopia by decades. 2 weeks later, another envelope, certified this time, reeking of printer ink and passive aggression. Notice of violation. Failure to remedy non-compliant structures, may result in fines up to $500 per day. I laughed, out loud, alone in my kitchen. This gravel had been here since the 80s, crunching under tires long before Evelyn's Mercedes knew what a pothole was. The fence? Grandfathered in by county records. But logic doesn't faze a HOA dictator. It's fuel for their clipboard empire. That's when the whispers started. At the local hardware store, folks I'd nodded to before now averted eyes. "Heard you're the holdout," one guy muttered while grabbing nails. "Evelyn's saying you're squatting on association land." Squatting? On my own deed. Kept cool. Bought my lumber. But inside, the old reporter instincts kicked in. I pulled county plats online that night, spread them across the table like a crime scene map. Mine clear boundary, 200 feet shy of Willow Creek's edge. There's, from the HOA site, my whole lot shaded in buffer zone blue, like they'd annexed it while I slept. Not a mistake, a move. Calculated, like a bad chess player overreaching. I started a binder, evidence log, day 1, copies of deeds, surveys, emails. Because I'd covered enough scandals to know, paper trails don't lie, but people do. And Evelyn was about to light a match she couldn't snuff out. You could spot Evelyn coming from a mile away, her Mercedes purring like a contented cat, windows tinted just enough to hide the judgment inside. First real encounter? Mid-morning. Sun beating down. Me sanding a bench in the barn. Tires crunched. Door slammed. Heels clicked like tiny gavels. She strode up. Clipboard clutched like a shield. Pastel pantsuit screaming authority. "Mr. Turner," she said, voice clipped and saccharine, peering over her shades at the barn like it personally offended her. "I'm Evelyn Hargrove, president of Willow Creek HOA. We've corresponded." "Have we?" I wiped sweat, kept sanding. "I recall sending an email." No response. She ignored that, tapped her pen. "This outbuilding violates code. Unpainted exteriors aren't permitted. They lower curb appeal for the entire community." "I'm not in your community," I said evenly, not looking up. "County lines say so." A tight smile. The kind that says, "Bless your heart," but means, "You're an idiot." Everyone thinks that at first. But our plats include this as common area. For harmony's sake. She thrust a printout at me. My lot, blue-shaded, no official seal. Photoshop slop. I handed it back. Cute edit. Wrong date. Missing stamps. Try again with the real county map. Her eyes narrowed, but the smile held. "I'd watch your tone." Noncompliance escalates quickly. She snapped a photo of the barn, heels sinking in dirt as she measured something on her phone, probably calculating fine potential. "And I'd watch your step," I replied, gesturing to the fence. "That's my grass you're denting." She froze, clipboard trembling just a hair. Then spun, clicking away. "You'll hear from our attorney." The air hung with her floral perfume, cloying and fake, like her rules. Over coffee that evening, I dug deeper. HOA forums online were goldmines. "Evelyn's a control freak," one anonymous post read. "Find me for excessive bird feeders," said they attracted undesirable wildlife. Another, "She repainted my mailbox herself one night." Called it a courtesy correction. But some praised her, "Keeps values high," as if fascism in flip-flops was a selling point. A week later, she returned with backup, a mousy guy in khakis, matching clipboard, earpiece buzzing. They huddled by my mailbox, whispering like spies. "Can I help?" I called, stepping out. "Documenting violations," Evelyn chirped. "Your postbox height is off by 2 inches. Safety hazard. It's grandfathered. And again, not your turf. Mr. Turner." She sighed, like I was a naughty child. "The covenants protect us all. Imagine if everyone ignored them? Chaos. Imagine if you respected boundaries," I shot back. "Like the actual legal ones." Her accomplice fidgeted. She waved him off. Emailed me later. "Cooperation fosters harmony. Further resistance will be reported." Reported to who? The Harmony Police? I leaned back that night, porch creaking, stars mocking the suburb below. People like Evelyn thrive on order because disorder exposes their emptiness. But I'd exposed bigger fish. This was just a minnow with a megaphone. The knock came polite but insistent, like bureaucracy's doorbell. County inspector on my porch. Windbreaker flapping. Clipboard eternal. "Zoning check," he said. Apologetic grin. "Anonymous tip about unpermitted barn." Anonymous. Ha! I glanced down the street. Evelyn's Mercedes lurked, engine humming. "Blonde. Bossy. Clipboard addict." He chuckled. "Can't say. Mind if I look?" We toured the barn. Tools neat. Nothing fancy. He nodded. "All good. Complaints bogus. Happens a lot in these HOA spots, power trips. Some hobby," I muttered. He tore off a clearance slip. "Stay frosty." But Evelyn didn't. Midnight that night. Headlights swept my yard. Engine revving then cutting. I watched from blinds, her car, idling, then gone. Next morning, red letter envelope taped to my gate. Final warning. Trespass on HOA buffer zone. Remedy or face liens. Trespass? On my land? I compared maps again. Her version had redrawn lines, slicing through my barn. Fraud. Bold as brass. Binder updated. Incident 2. Forged docs. The old tightness returned. Not fear. Strategy. I covered embezzlers who thought paper hid sins. Time to flip the script. Neighbors started siding whispers into shouts. Evelyn's rallying the board. One confided at the store. Says you're a threat to values. Me? The guy minding his acres? Then the second cop visit. 1 a.m. Lights flashing like a rave. Officers, 1 vet, 1 rookie. Trespass call, the vet said, weary. Again. Let me guess. Anonymous? He nodded. I showed deeds. Legit, the rookie admitted. Keep logging, the vet advised. She's pushing buttons. As they left, Evelyn's silhouette watched from shadows. Game on. I lawyered up old contact. Sarah Klein. Sharp as a tack. HOAs are non-profits, she said over Zoom. Public records. Let's audit. We pulled filings. Evelyn's signatures everywhere. Funds funneled to Hargrove Consulting, her side gig. $120,000 in fees for management. Balloon loan on Clubhouse. Default looming. She's embezzling, Sarah grinned. And that loan? Default lets the bank auction common land and governance rights. My pulse quickened. So if I buy, you own the HOA. Poetic. We filed complaints. AG. Evidence piled. Receipts. Timestamps. Evelyn's empire? Crumbling on paper. That night, storm brewing, I walked my line. Thunder rumbled. She wanted war. I'd bring the flood. Revolution sparked on a faded foreclosure notice, pinned amid lost pets and yard sales at the courthouse. Tuesday errand turned treasure hunt. Willow Creek HOA Common Assets Auction. Defaulted loan. Coffee forgotten. I called Sarah. It's happening. 21 days. Match the loan number? Silence. Then, holy hell. Her greed blew it up. Brain racing. Lose land. Lose charter. Buyer gets power. I'm bidding. My sister loaned cash. Sarah prepped. Auction day. Humid gray. Sparse crowd. Bids crept. 620K. 640K. Silence at 650K. 651. I raised. Gavel cracked. Sold to me. Receipt in hand. Buyer, Alex Turner. Includes governance privileges. Balance restored. Sarah high-fived. You're their overlord now. Next dawn. Tires crunched. Evelyn stormed up. Face thunder. You can't buy us. Wanna bet? I held the deed. Apparently, I did. She sputtered. This isn't over. Oh, it is. You're on my land now. Rage flickered, flames dying. She retreated, defeated. Air cleared. Peace reclaimed. Courthouse hummed like a hive ready to swarm. Benches packed. Neighbors once cowed, now buzzing. Evelyn front row. Black suit like mourning her throne. Lawyer fidgety. Sarah opened. Fraud. Embezzlement. $120K siphoned to her firm. Defaulted loan. Petition to dissolve. Evelyn's lawyer. Misunderstandings. Judge. Response. Evelyn stood, quivering. I built this. For order. Sarah. And profit. Your accounts show it. Murmurs. Door swung, detective entered. Warrant. Embezzlement. Forgery. Cuffs clicked. You built on sand, he said. Room erupted. Cheers. Relief. Judge. Dissolved. Assets to Turner's trust. Outside. Sunlight blazed. Neighbors clapped. Feels like freedom got approved. I quipped. Dust settled in months. Signed deed to Willow Commons Trust. Shared land. Low dues. $50 per month. No petty fines. Volunteers repainted clubhouse vibrant. Kids splashed in pools without permits. Gardens bloomed unchecked. Local paper. HOA tyrant jailed. Neighborhood reborn. Evelyn. Guilty plea. 2 years prison. Banned from boards. New law. HOA audits mandatory. Evenings now, porch swings. Laughter echoing. Miguel fined once for flags. Brings beer. Mrs. Lee Rosebush victim shares pie. I sought quiet. Found fight. And won. If your HOA's a bully, remember, fine print bites back. But tell me, was Evelyn the villain? Or just a product of a system that rewards control freaks? Drop your take below.